We've had so many experts talk to us about resilience over these past few months, and everybody has a slightly different definition, different kind of take on what resilience is. The way that I've been thinking about it recently, and especially in the current times we're living in, is teaching people, myself included, how to suffer better. You know, because I think, a lot of people think about positive psychology as all about smiles and happiness and it's not that. Sometimes global pandemics happen. Right. Bad things happen in all of our lives at one point or another, right? So I think it's also about being able to get through those times with more strength, being able to bounce back from those times. But yeah, suffering better, I think it really resonates with me right now.
We need a hashtag,
suffering better.
There's a scripture, I think, about suffering with hope. Mm-hmm. But I think that's an amazing thought. Suffering better.
Yeah.
Because suffering, would you say, suffering can kind of put you down two different paths. Mm-hmm. Is that oversimplifying it?
No, I totally agree. I just saw this cartoon recently from another psychologist, Adam Grant, and it was just a really simple cartoon, but he had it was sort of, the successful person and the non-successful person. And the non-successful person had a bunch of different blocks of failure, and it was like these blocks were building on top of his head and on top of his shoulders, kind of weighing him down. And then the successful person cartoon was the same set of blocks of failure, but with every failure climbing up the ladder a little bit more. So I think, and I think honestly, that's something that, I don't know if it's the immigrant mentality, but I think that's something that I got from my parents, that they did really well. So it wasn't, I loved my childhood. I started off telling you about having to lick food off the ground and all these terrible things, but I had a really good childhood, and I think my parents did that. They let me sort of, like, yes, this is happening, you're going through these difficult things, it's hard, but hey, you're still here, you're still in school, you're still getting good grades, pat yourself on the back. And these experiences are just making you stronger. All these other kids don't have these experiences, and you're still here and you're still moving forward. Pat yourself on the back. And I think that's something I hope to do with my students, is to make them realize that, like, life is tough. Yeah. We all have things, every single one of us, more or less. Even, the picture perfect life on Facebook, it's not real. We're all struggling with stuff inside and outside, and to be able to take those failures, to take those struggles and figure out how they can grow from them, yes, become stronger and more resilient from them, as opposed to let them kind of weigh them down.